Yeah, I've never been overheated, uh, that I recall.
That's not
I know.
what I hear. I hear you get heated every Wednesday night putting a show together.
Yeah, I I I did on a bicycle trail one time. I did overdo it and literally had to pull off on the side of the trail and sit down in the dirt,
Wow.
and for like an hour. So like I couldn't move. So but no, I've never been overheated or had heat stroke or anything like that. But heat affects people different ways. I'm I'm always cold,
Right.
always cold. I mean, like right now, I'm wearing a sweatshirt with a hoodie. I wear them during the summertime all the time when I travel and everything. I wear the hoodies because
Even
on
in the
air,
summer.
yeah, on airports. Well, realistically, when I travel, I'm not outside much.
Right.
I go from the airport to the rental car to the arena to the rental car, hotel, airport. That's my line of travel when I'm on the road. And the airlines freeze you the fuck to death.
Yes.
They do. Every flight is cold, and they'll always say, "Please open up your air vents for the next passengers to keep this plane cool." And I want to go, why? It's a bucket of ice flying in the air 30,000 feet at 560 miles an hour. So I'm always cold. And that's the thing. We fight for the thermostat here. And it's not because of money. We because I'm always cold and she's she told me that. I said, we even talked about it yesterday. I said, I just don't get why you're always hot. And she said, well, you're not a woman and you've never had a period and you've never been through menopause.
Oh my.
That's what she said. I said, yeah. I said, you could just say I'm not a woman.
We could just go praise Jesus, you know?
Yeah,
I don't
right.
want to do none of that. None of that shit sounds fun.
No, it's terrible. And so I've never had a heat stroke
Now,
or
I'm
anything like that.
wondering, do you think he's got some sort of a heat stroke or dehydration? Or since we've learned that he can't watch porn in the state of Texas, do you think he's all backed up? Do you think the
That could,
poison's just going through his system? He hadn't been able to release the poison.
if you're a person that likes to release a poison on a regular basis,
Yeah.
that could be the problem.
When was the last time you released the poison? Do you recall?
No, it's been tons. It's been years.
I mean, do you think that can't be healthy?
I don't know. Maybe it's not healthy. Maybe I got a big old thing stuck up my ass that's getting ready to. I don't know.
hmm. No, I've never done it, but I've heard that there's like a special button you can press and it just boop shoots out. Maybe you could
No,
have Lois help you find the button.
no.
Yeah.
Oh
You don't
God,
you don't know about this?
no. That sounds terrible.
I
Because
used to
that's
work
that.
with a guy who was having some fertility issues with his wife and they were trying to have a baby and just couldn't get the job done. And so they went to see the doctor. And of course, they needed to collect a sample. But my friend's pretty religious. So he didn't like when they tried to put him in a room with some adult DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. So the doctor came in and said, okay, well, drop your pants. And it's a dude. And he's like, what? And he goes, no, not like that. Turn around. And he hit the button and boop, there it went. He's like, I felt violated. I didn't do anything. He did it. And it was like, wait, what is that? Hey, why is this happening? So maybe that needs to happen. Maybe you should just run down to the doctor and
Oop,
tune in next week when we talk about, maybe you
nope.
remember that old Tom Green movie. Next week, we'll be running a new film here. Tony got fingered. Schiavone got fingered.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
You don't think?
No, I know it's not gonna happen.
Well, what is going to happen, and something that does sound fun, is
Yeah.
watching some old NWA TNA. Today, we're actually going to watch the very first TNA show, which is available on YouTube. You can also watch it on the TNA streaming service, Impact Plus. But I'm going to watch it on YouTube. Actually, I downloaded it already. And I encourage you to do the same. And Tony, this is a pretty fun show because it happened as folks are listening to this on this exact date, 22 years ago,
Oh,
way
wow.
back in 2002. And of all places, Tony, believe it or not, it was in Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Civic Center, which is now called the Probst Arena, a building that AEW has ran a few times. And I'm pretty fired up to watch this one. I was at this show live with my uncle HR, who's no longer with us, and it was fun, man. You know, in the I guess at that point it had been over a year since WCW and ECW had ceased to exist, and I was hopeful that this was going to be a new alternative, and I was really excited that the first show was in Huntsville. Any chance you even had this on your radar in 2002?
Conrad, I think I was there.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I do.
You were at the first show,
I think I was backstage.
just hanging out.
There's something that tells me there's something in my brain, and this is old, an old brain talking. There's something in my brain that remembers me being backstage in Huntsville at the
Wow.
Von Braun Center,
Wow.
talking to Bob Ryder, and that's all I remember.
Do you remember the ring breaking right before they started the pay-per-view?
No, I don't.
They had a big heavyset fellow named Cheeks, an old Cheeks. He broke the ring right before they went live. That
Really?
that didn't ring a bell.
No, but I remember being backstage with Jeremy Borash been there too?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Borash and Ryder were like OGs of the original
Right,
TNA. Yeah.
right, because they were with us in AEW in
WCW.
WC
Isn't it fun all
WCW.
the different alphabet soup of wrestling companies you've worked for? Let's run through that. It was Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling, which I guess
Uh-huh.
is also Jim Crockett Promotions. So I'll count it once.
MACW.
And then WCW, and then
Uh-huh.
WWF,
Uh-huh.
WCW,
Uh-huh.
and then randomly TNA once,
Uh-huh. MLW.
MLW,
Mhm.
AEW.
All right.
Well, how many other indies along the way? Did you make a lot of indie shots?
No, none. I stayed away from them by design.
Except for that one shot in Atlanta right before AEW where we had the motherfucking Yeti.
Yeah, that's right.
That was fun.
Right.
Well, this will be fun, boys and girls. We're going to watch the very first TNA show. It went down on June 19th, 2002. Tony thinks he was there. We'll see if any of this rings a bell. I'm locked and loaded on my side, Tony. Do you have a countdown on your side?
Sure do. Uh let me
What celebrity will we hear from today?
yeah, what celebrity will we hear from today?